start part two with number 7 being Jevon Holland. It's a young stud free safety that definitely doesn't really get talked about a whole lot, except the fact that he got drafted way too low in the draft. It was a steal for Miami, and it's really paved the way for their defense. He's definitely a bright spot in this on this team, and I do believe that he is going to pave the way for this defense for a long time. Just a young stud, man, that deserves his credit, and he's definitely on the way to being top 5. Hopefully top 3 in his case for his career. I mean, he's still got a lot of time to prove it, and I think he's done such a great job so far just because of how him being all over the football field. It's amazing to see. Jevon Holland's 23 years old, 2 years in the league, 2 years, $3.3 million left in his rookie deal. He will be getting paid. 17 games played and started, 2 interceptions, 7 pass deflections, 1 forced fumble, 1.5 sacks, 96 tackles, 1 tackle for loss, 1 QB hit. Again, all over the field. Playoff game, lost to the Bills in the wild card. He had an interception, 2 pass deflections, and 10 tackles. He's an all-pro potential. He's Pro Bowl potential. He's got the ability of being a Defensive Player of the Year candidate. So overall, he's got a lot of time on his hands, and I do believe he will be very successful for a very long time and cause a lot of headaches for many teams for a very long time. Number 6, I mean, I'm pretty sure he's been top 5 before in his career, definitely with the way he's played for such a long time. He is a staple of the Titans defense. I do believe he is a Titan Hall of Famer. I do believe that he could be a Hall of Famer in the end of this if he continues to do what he does. He's still 30 years old, so he's still got some time, some left in the tank, man, especially with the way he plays, man. He plays aggressive, he plays angry, he plays fast. He's all over the field. You got to make sure where Kevin Byard is. Definitely one of the bright spots of Tennessee. I mean, they got a couple, but overall, when you look at the Tennessee defense, you got to look at Jeffrey Simmons, you got to look at Kevin Byard. 30 years old, 7 years in the league. He's got 2 years, $25.1 million on his deal left, with a 2024 potential out of $13.35 million in dead cap for Tennessee. 17 games played and started, 4 interceptions, 6 pass deflections, 108 tackles, 1 QB hit. No playoffs, no accolades, which is very surprising to me. But overall, Kevin Byard is a guy you need to mark his name on the film room and you need to know where he's at all times. He's great. If you want to be a great safety, you got to watch him and the way that he plays the game. And he's right there in the top 5. Just these 5 guys that I have. I mean, they're studly and. They've definitely made a name for themselves to be in that discussion of top 5. But overall, Kevin Byard, I mean, that's nothing to play with, and he's a superstar for sure. Number 5, time we started with the top 5. How about Jessie Bates III, man? The newly Atlanta Falcon free safety. Definitely was an impact player in Cincinnati. Will be an impact player in Atlanta. He has been so far. Overall, a guy that you want to watch film on all the time. Make sure you know where he's at. Make sure that you figure out where you're throwing it to and know where he's at because he's a ball hawk. Overall, I mean he's definitely proven the fact that he could be a leader, a captain, and definitely is going to help Atlanta a whole lot, especially with their secondary being a lot better. Definitely, I see them being one of the top secondaries. I know it's late in the season now. It's like week 7, I believe now. So, overall, I mean, not bad. Definitely a good secondary in my opinion, especially from last year's numbers. Jessie Bates III is 26 years old, 5 years in the league, 4 years, $64.02 million. What he signed with the Atlanta Falcons free agency. A 2025 potential out with $9 million dead cap for Atlanta. So not bad. 16 games played and started, 4 interceptions, 8 pass deflections, 1 forced fumble, 71 tackles, 1 tackle for loss. Playoffs, played in 3 games, lost to the AFC Championship game to the Chiefs. He had 20 tackles and a tackle for loss. So not bad. Weird that he's not an All-Pro, weird that he's not a Pro Bowler, but overall, I mean, he had an impactful year, and he was great for what he did for the Bengals. And like I said, I'm excited to see what he does in Atlanta now with his new contract. And he's still got a lot of time, man. He's still young, so. All right, number 4, we got Marcus Williams, the Ravens free safety. Uh, Definitely been doing this for a while for him, and he's still effective. When he was in New Orleans, still effective now. Great free agency pickup for Baltimore when they got him a year ago. Um, Definitely with the injury that kind of hurt him, but it really puts into perspective how great their secondary can be with Marcus Williams being out there, being fully healthy. They definitely, they've been trying to search for to have a great secondary ever since, especially having Ed Reed not be there for a long time. I wouldn't say they didn't have any free safety. I didn't say, but they haven't had an impactful one like that, I'd say, in a while. Marcus Williams is one of those guys that's impacting the team, definitely, with his play, everything he does on the field. And smart player, definitely smart player, hard hitter. Definitely reads the field well, reads the field really well. Marcus Williams, 27 years old, 6 years in the league. He has 4 years, $52 million left in his contract with the Ravens. 2025 potential out with a 15.55 million in dead cap. 10 games played and started, 4 interceptions, 8 pass deflections, 1 fumble recovery, 61 tackles, 2 tackles for loss. Playoffs, 1 game played and started, lost to the Bengals in the wild card. He had 2 tackles and a pass deflection. No accolades, but definitely all pro, Pro Bowler kind of potential. Um, Again, just overall impactful player, and a guy that you need on your team. So overall, Marcus Williams, huge props to him, and he definitely deserves to be top 5 in the league. Number 3, Justin Simmons, man. Justin Simmons, definitely one of those free safeties that's been doing this for a while as well. The impact is insane. He's a ball hawk. Definitely one of the bright spots in Denver's defense when there really is none. Um, I mean, as much as last year they were a little better on defense, but this year right now has been treacherous. Justin Simmons though is definitely a very, very strong force of this defense. He's definitely a captain. He's definitely a leader. And he's definitely the guy that they need to have on the field at all times, just because of what he can do from tackling to picking people off to pass deflections to, causing ruckus on the backfield to, tackles for loss and, getting after it, trying to create turnovers. So overall, Justin Simmons is an impactful player all the time. 29 years old, 7 years in the league, 2 years, $28.9 million left in his deal. 12 games played and started, 6 interceptions, 7 pass deflections, 3 forced fumbles, 1 fumble recovery, 69 tackles, 2 tackles for loss. Second team All Pro. So no playoffs. Denver is not great, man, right now, but he's a bright spot in that team, and overall, he's a great free safety, one of the best in the league. So number 3. And number 2, we got Minkah Fitzpatrick. Minkah Fitzpatrick at number 2 is a great thing for him, especially with having him and number 1 being so closely connected with where they should be at. I mean, they're pretty much the same age. Jevon, I just feel like has had more of an impact, but I mean that's kind of unfair to say that just because Minkah's numbers have been insane and he's done so well coming from Miami to Pittsburgh in the trade, and I mean he really should be number 1. He's just right there to me. It's a back and forth battle between the both of these guys, but I got Minkah at number 2 right now. I do believe he can be number 1 by the end of the year, with what he's going to do, because he's always going to put up numbers. Definitely great safety to watch. Fun to watch him fly everywhere. Fun to see him being involved in almost every play. He's 26 years old, 5 years in the league, 4 years, $63.1 million left on a deal with a 2024 potential out worth $20.56 million in dead cap for Pittsburgh. So I don't see them letting him go anytime soon. He played and started 15 games. He had 6 interceptions, 1 touchdown, 11 pass deflections, 96 tackles, a tackle for loss, and a QB hit. Um, Again, it's weird to say that he's number 2, not number 1, especially because of the ability that he was 10th in voting for Defensive Player of the Year. He was a first-team All-Pro and he was a Pro Bowler. I just believe, based on what I've seen right now, he's right there. But that number one guy, man, he makes that team, and without him, that's a total collapse on that team. So Minkah deserves his props, deserves his praise, and people should watch more of Minkah. Definitely, a huge part of a Pittsburgh Steelers defense that's still trying to be molding, and a team that's still trying to mold to being a contender again. Minkah's going to be a huge part of that, and I'm not surprised Pittsburgh always has some great safeties up in there with that franchise, and he's one of the guys that definitely could be up there as one of Steeler great when it's all said and done. Number one, I got to put him up here. It's Budda Baker, man. The respect I have for this guy is insane. He just shows up every single day in, day out, on a really weird situation of a team that's definitely rebuilding, definitely not going to get any better anytime soon. Contending wise, is going to take a while. They're going to need to build from the draft, build from free agency with the money I'm pretty sure they have a huge cap space, I believe, this offseason. They're just young, man. They're just trying to develop, trying to be a contending team. And I know they'll get there eventually. But right now, Cardinals are a work in progress. He's one of the guys that has been stable enough to stick around and really show people what kind of player he is. He's definitely an impactful free safety, an impactful player for the team, for the league. People love seeing Budda Baker. It's definitely a one of these, you know, Minkah though, man, first team All Pro, and Budda didn't get that. Budda still does his thing, man. He still does his thing. He's been doing his thing for a long time, and he's still super young. Budda's 27 years old, 6 years in the league, 1 year, $14.3 million left on his deal. He is definitely, my honest opinion, probably moving on. Probably going to go to a team that actually can contend. I don't want to put that energy out there because I don't want that to happen. But Niners with Hufanga, just saying, maybe if they can work something out, that could be pretty good, man. Um, but Budda Baker, I think, should go to a team that actually is ready to contend. I think he's great, but I don't know if I want to see this guy play the position there and is in a struggling team for so many years, man, until they're actually good, and then he's aged. 15 games played and started, 2 interceptions, 7 pass deflections, 1 forced fumble, 111 tackles, 1 tackle for loss, 2 QB hits. He was a Pro Bowler. Again, his numbers speak for itself, man. I mean, he did pretty much everything that Minkah does. Just Minkah had more interceptions and more pass deflections. But this guy's a tackling machine. He gets after. He's a ball hawk, and he's just very impactful player, dude. And it's someone that you want, a leader, and definitely underrated. Definitely not looked at as much. But I mean, it was tough to decide Minkah or Budda. Minkah or Budda. At the end of the day, I think Budda Baker's earned this top spot, especially for this position. So overall, well deserved for him, and I hope that he goes to a team that's going to contend and really choose him and really help him out to get a Super Bowl dub.